Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
It's Kevin Hart. Everybody, welcome. Here we go. Happy Friday. Wow, we made it. It's been quite a week. Welcome. It is Matt Connarton Unleashed, and we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. And I hear that there is a glorious double rainbow outside. In fact, I can't see it from here, but the weather here has been last couple hours. We've had some flooding and so forth, but and we'll get to that. But yes, we are here safely downtown at WMNH 95.3. And, of course, also on Comcast 97. I better check that. On Comcast 97, if you are in Manchester. And, of course, streaming worldwide from WMNHradio.org and on the Facebook on the Matt Connarton Unleashed Facebook page. And, of course, you can go to my website, mattconnerton.com, for all of your live streaming options, social media links, contact info, show archives, etc., etc. And hello to our friends at Raw Talk Online, Tomorrow Radio, and AOW Radio. Today is Friday, November 12th, 2021. I always have trouble with that particular combination of consonants at the end of the word 12th. It's very difficult. Sometimes I'll just, in that situation, I'll just say November 12th, which a lot of broadcasters do now. They just say the number and not the variation of the number. But I feel like I'm cheating if I do that. So I have to at least attempt to say November 12th. Otherwise, I'll wake up in the middle of the night with regret going, why didn't I attempt to say that? And I can't say it. I just have difficulty with it. And then I end up sending droplets everywhere as I attempt to say it, which isn't a great thing in the COVID era. We want to minimize our droplets. Good thing there's a guard on this, anyway, on the microphone. But yeah, so welcome everybody. Happy Friday. Let's see. I do want to remind you before we get going today that our wonderful sponsors, the Hop Knot. I'm not sure what they have going on there tonight. Usually they have live music on Friday nights. Thursday nights they have trivia night with the great Bill Cini. Friday nights they have live music. I'm not sure what they've got going on for that tonight, but a couple things that I did learn of yesterday that I want to remind you of. They've got the pre-Thanksgiving karaoke party November 24th. That is 8 p.m. to midnight for some pre-Thanksgiving karaoke. And then on December 5th, they've got the Gender Blender Drag Show from 2 to 4 p.m. And that's been a very popular feature there at the Hop Knot, the Gender Blender events. So there you go. That one's going to be in the afternoon. But of course, the best thing about the Hop Knot, the delicious gourmet pretzels. They have craft beer. They have wine. They've got great people, such a wonderful staff there at the Hop Knot. And we are so very honored and proud to have them as a sponsor. So please, if you're in the area, the Hop Knot on Elm, and even if you're not in the area, I say it's worth the drive or the plane ride, the train, whatever you got to do, please come to the Hop Knot. So one of our great sponsors here at Matt Connarton Unleashed and at WMNH 95.3. Let's see. Also want to remind you tonight, following this program, of course, is Granite State of Mind. This week's show is not live of Granite State of Mind, which means we will be going all the way up to 6 p.m. And then Greatest State of Mind, hosted by the great Rob Azevedo. I don't know which episode we'll be playing this week. But then after that, at 7:30 p.m., it's Retro Spectrum Radio with Paulie C. And I have the honor and privilege of being one of Paul's co-hosts on that show, along with our friends Dan Randlett and DJ Steve. So that will be coming up tonight from 7:30 to 10 p.m. Eastern time, of course, for those of you streaming online from other parts of the globe. And yes, it is a globe. Don't let the flat earthers fool you. If the earth was flat, our cats would have knocked everything off of it by now. Only people who have cats will probably understand the joke. And I stole that from a meme anyway. So what's it matter? If you'd like to call us today, 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. You can also text me at 617-917-4476. Tweet me at Matt Connarton or send an email to matt@mattconnerton.com. But the best thing to do, of course, so that we can hear and enjoy your dulcet tones, is to call us at 603-250-6007. You can also interact and opine in the Facebook live chat, and we will say hello to everybody in there in a moment. I do see Eric Pilcher is in there. Eric, of course, from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and the host of Eric's weekly classic film review that we do every Friday afternoon at the midpoint of the show. This week, Eric reviews A Clockwork Orange, which actually had come up in discussion, I think, during the Monday train wreck here. But that's also what Eric is reviewing this week. And John Hopwood shared out an article regarding that film earlier, too, by the way. Those of you. Oh, and I see him in the chat room as well. So, and also, too, I'll just remind you, of course, the Miracle on Elm Street, which will be coming up December 2nd. I don't have the flyer in front of me with all the information. I forgot to grab one from across the room. So I'll do a more detailed reminder in the second hour. But really looking forward to that. That's going to be a very big deal this year. December 2nd, we will be broadcasting from the bonfire all day, beginning at 7 a.m. with the morning show. And, of course, my show. And I think, I don't know all the details, all the particulars yet. Peter White will alert me as things begin to solidify and coagulate. I heard that word on the morning show. Coagulate. It's a great word. But as I know more, I will share more with you. But the plan is to it's going to be an all-day thing, and really looking forward to it. This great toy drive, which was very successful last year, and it's already shaping up to be even more successful this year. And I'm really excited to be involved in it. Jenny's excited. Christian's excited. I know Paulie C is going to be coming down and participating in my program for the second hour that day. Really looking forward to that. Always nice to hang out with Paulie C. So, yeah, that's going to be a great day. So really looking forward to December 2nd. Let me give the number again, 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. I just got a message from someone, and I just want to see if they're right about what they're telling me. And then we're going to say hello to everybody in the Facebook live chat. But I'm just checking on a... Okay. Let me just respond. Okay. Very good. All right, let's say hello to everybody in there. Sorry about that. I need a bigger budget so I can hire a staff to do these things for me during the show. I need some of that Howard Stern money. I need a lot of it. I need about half of it. I think would do the job. I put most of that in the bank. Mike Pelopita joins us in the chat. Mike says, hi, Matt. Good afternoon, everyone, and happy Friday. Mike, of course, from one of our great sponsors here at WMNH Queen City Cabinetry in the historic Sunbeam Mall, named, of course, for General Sunbeam, the greatest military mind since sliced bread. Eric Pilcher, I did mention, is in the chat. Eric says, good afternoon from snowy, rainy, windy, cold Cedar Rapids. Wow, you've got snow already. Ugh. We've just had rain here. Rocky Uber says, nice rainy day today. Yep, very rainy here. Jenny says, ugh, it's killing me. Texas Mike says, 75 and sunny in Virginia Beach. That figures. Rocky says, I wonder if we will hear from Tracy from Nashua today. Oh, it'd be nice to hear from Tracy. Wayne Noel joins us all the way from Michigan. Hello, Wayne. Eric Pilcher says, Psycho Circus is fitting, LOL. Yes, today I opened with Psycho Circus. From a little band called Kiss. Happened to be my favorite band. It occurred to me I'd never opened with that song before. At least I don't think I have. It's like the perfect opener for the show. That tour, they opened, actually more than one tour they've opened with that song. It's a perfect song to open the concert, too. John Hopwood is in the chat room. Hello, John. Mike Pelopita says the sun is out now. Yeah, it's finally coming out. Angela Philbrook says, just slowed down for a minute ago. Lots of flooded streets. Yeah. We don't usually see that kind of flooding here in Manchester or really anywhere in New Hampshire. It's unusual here. John Hopwood says, this is referring to the Miracle on Elm Street. The miracle will be if Gonzo turns in the money he raised. Whoa! Shots fired. My goodness. Those two have quite the relationship. Dirk Don of Arrogant Media is in the chat. Dirk, of course, also part of Matt Connarton Unleashed. He does a weekly music review for us. This week it was Rammstein, or Rammstein, as John Hopwood corrected me. Dirk says, John, how many profiles do you have on Facebook? 3 that I know of. Tom Blanchard says, I got tested positive today. Sorry to hear that, Tom. However, I do know that you are vaccinated, so hopefully you are either asymptomatic or very mild symptoms. I assume you're referring to COVID. But sorry to hear that, Tom, but you'll do fine. Let's see. Well, yeah, so if you are locally here in Manchester,
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Phonics, Matt. If you are local here in Manchester or listening locally, please be careful if you're in your car driving around, listening to me during your afternoon commute. I would imagine the waters have begun to recede since it has stopped raining. But we had some flooding. DJ Midas posted some pictures on Facebook that actually surprised me. I don't know where he was when he took those pics, but the water was actually up to the tops of the tires, and maybe even a little bit beyond that, actually, of a couple of the cars that were in the pictures that he took. And you very rarely see that here. One of the really nice things about New Hampshire is, for those of you listening in other parts of the country, you might not know this, but we don't have a lot of extreme weather here. It gets cold in the winter, and we have some winters where we get a lot of snow, but nothing too terrible. I mean, we've had a few ice storms over the years, but nothing that bad. And we don't experience here, like in the Midwest, they get, I've heard it called a couple of different things, polar vortex or an Arctic blast, where it'll get like below 30 below, I should say, without the wind chill. And it's just insane. And we don't have anything like that here. I have family in the Midwest. I've only been out there in the summer, never in the winter. And I don't intend to go in the winter. But, it doesn't get that bad here. And we have some winters here that are actually very mild, or we'll have a winter like we did last year where it was cold. Not terrible, but it was cold, but we had very little snow. So the winters here aren't too bad. So we don't usually get, we don't have terrible winters. We don't have, hurricanes. By the time they get up here, they're usually downgraded to a tropical storm. We rarely get tornadoes, and we don't have a lot of flooding. Flooding here is pretty unusual. So, but we did experience, I had no problem getting here, fortunately, when I left home to come to the station today. I was smart. I didn't take my usual route. I took a route that I felt would keep me on roads that were elevated so that I wouldn't run into any flooding roads, and that strategy was successful. I did not run into any flooding or ponding or anything. I was able to get here really easily. But I saw some pictures online. Like I said, the pictures that Midas posted were like, oh my God, because you just don't see that usually here in Manchester. But it did, oh, Jenny just shared something interesting. It did surprise me. And like I said, I did use a strategy to avoid that. So, Rob Arnaudin from the Rob and Slim Show is in the chat. Rob says Jersey was like that until we started getting tornadoes a few years ago. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, when I was a kid, tornadoes in this part of the country, you know, and you're in the Northeast, we're in the Northeast, you're in New Jersey, we're in New Hampshire. But yeah, I think generally, you know, when I was growing up, tornadoes in the Northeast were pretty unusual. It was really something that you would see in the Midwest specifically. Now you see them, it seems like, all over the country. But the Midwest, you know, specifically like Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, that's Tornado Alley. And my mother grew up in Illinois, and she actually saw a couple of, like, actually saw in person, saw a couple of tornadoes growing up. But now it seems like, you know, because if you notice, I said we rarely get tornadoes here in New Hampshire. When I was, you know, 20 years ago, I would have said we never get tornadoes here in New Hampshire. But now, you know, they do happen. Or in Massachusetts, they have them. The weather is definitely changing. John Hopwood says, is Matt calling Greta Thunberg a liar? Hardly. No, I stand with Greta, actually. Miriam Banish is in the chat and says, hello, Miriam. Nope, I think climate change is very much real, and I'm very concerned about it. Yeah, Jenny shared something in the chat just now. Or I'm sorry, in Messenger. This is some breaking news. We have breaking. I wish I had the breaking news music queued up. I should learn to do that. Federal grand jury indicts former Trump advisor Steve Bannon for contempt of Congress. Now, we'll get to the details in a moment, but if you're a consistent listener, you may have heard me talking about this. Prior to the Trump administration, I did not realize that it was even possible, that it would even be a question when you are subpoenaed to testify before Congress. I would not have thought that it was even a question as to whether or not you had to show up. I always had assumed that if you are subpoenaed for anything, you have to show up. You have to answer the subpoena. And if you don't show up, a bench warrant will be issued and you will be arrested. So you have to comply. But then the Trump administration happened. And during the Trump administration, there were various times when members or past members of the Trump administration or people connected to the administration in some way were subpoenaed by committees of Congress. And there became this pattern where, and this is something I've been complaining about with the Democrats because they kind of created their own problem here. The Democrats would subpoena these Republicans, and the people that were being subpoenaed, or again, just anyone connected to Trump or the administration, and then these people being subpoenaed would just say, you know, through their legal counsel, of course, would say, no, I don't want to appear, or no, I'm asserting executive privilege. The president said I could. Even that's been really gotten twisted lately. So, and then the Democrats in Congress would basically say, oh, okay, I guess they're not coming. So it became this thing where, okay, so they'll subpoena you, and then you just say you don't want to show up, and there's no consequence for it. And you get to just not show up, and you just don't testify. And that became a pattern during the course of the Trump administration. So what has been at issue recently is, so now the January 6th Commission is subpoenaing people. And like Mark Meadows, for example, Trump's chief of staff, and they've been subpoenaing, that's a tricky word, subpoenaing Steve Bannon. It almost sounds like something dirty. That's for the other show, Matt Connarton Unsheathed, of course. But, and he has been refusing to comply. And I have been wondering what is, so, the committee votes to have this matter sent to the Justice Department, and now it's up to Merrick Garland. See, for a while, it was a question as to whether or not the committee would even do that, would even take that step. Because, again, there was this pattern established where you subpoena somebody to come testify, and they don't want to come, and then you just go, oh, okay, I guess you do, well, whatever, right? Which is, again, mind-boggling to me. I never would have in a million years guessed that when you're subpoenaed to testify before Congress that you have the option of just saying, no thanks, I don't want to show up. So there was this question of whether the committee would move forward with this. So they did. So they sent it to the Justice Department. And then there's all the hand-wringing. Merrick Garland at the Justice Department, what's he going to do? Is he going to try to enforce this? Is he going to have Steve Bannon arrested? Or is he going to be afraid to because, we don't want things to be politicized, and we don't want the Republicans to get too mad. So, so then that's been an open question. But things appear to be moving forward. And it is imperative that this committee gets to talk to Steve Bannon, because what Steve Bannon said on his podcast right before January 6th would seem to indicate that Steve Bannon knows something. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hi, it's Gonzo's best friend.
Ah, John Hopwood.
Yes. Hey, just a quick note. In constitutional law in the United States, the Senate has subpoena power that's been upheld by the Supreme Court, where the House hasn't. Its subpoena power is on not so firm ground.
Oh.
So people will stake out a position to refuse a House subpoena. I'm talking about during the Trump administration. So also the Hollywood 10, the people that were jailed, like the great screenwriter Dalton Trumbo, a double Oscar winner, they were jailed on contempt of Congress charges for refusing to testify.
Yeah.
Because they, rather than assert their Fifth Amendment privilege, they asserted a First Amendment privilege, which isn't recognized in constitutional law. But so I just wanted to, when it's the House, there's never been a case that went to the Supreme Court that said the House can enforce it in that way. So that was why you were seeing all that wild stuff in the Trump administration.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense then. See, I didn't realize that. So the Senate subpoena power is firmly established, but not necessarily
Absolute.
But not necessarily that of the House, is what you're saying.
When you say the subpoena power to compel somebody to testify,
Okay. So in other words, to compel them. So, if in theory, then if you cannot necessarily in the House compel them to testify, then there's no enforcement mechanism like there is.
Well,
in the Senate.
That's an issue. Everybody during the McCarthy period, there were two periods. There was the immediate post-World War II, and then in the 40s, and then there was the 50s, where Arthur Miller got nailed with, contempt of Congress. I don't know of anybody that with the House Un-American Activities Committee subpoenaed you. I don't know anybody that avoided it other than leave the United States. But the Trump was, it was weird world.
Yes. Now, does this have any legal grounds, John? Rob Arnaudin in the chat says the power of Christ compels you. Is that in the Constitution? Do you know?
No, I think that's just in the movie The Exorcist.
Oh, right. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure.
And
separation of church and state.
Excuse me?
I said, separation of church and state. So I guess the power of Christ could not compel you constitutionally.
Well, at least in a movie based on William Peter Blatty novels,
Well, obviously.
Okay, Matt, take care.
All right,
Bye.
John, thank you for the call. Bye-bye. The great John Hopwood. That's helpful to know, actually. I did not realize that. So So maybe if these committees, if they're Senate committees, they're a lot less likely to be messed with in that way. Of course, in the case of Bannon, too, it is understood that there is a legal strategy here with Bannon, Bannon's legal team, to try to drag this out, string this out, so that eventually, because we all know in the midterms the Republicans are going to pick up seats. If the Republicans pick up enough seats, they can kill all of this. They can kill the January 6th commission, or at least make it powerless, toothless, and then this just kind of goes away. So I think that's what the Bannon team is banking on. They're going to draw this out and draw this out. And because obviously if Bannon is faced with either testifying or ending up in prison, he might want to testify. But if they can draw this out long enough, and we've all seen how long things can be drawn out in courts with appeals. And I mean, look at how hard it is to just get these records from the archive on January 6th, these White House records that Trump has asserted executive privilege over. So Tom Blanchard in the chat says, good answer, John. Yes, yes. And Chris Rose joins us in the chat and says, good afternoon. Hello, Chris. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, by the way, if you haven't, I don't have the audio queued up, but just before January 6th, Steve Bannon said on his podcast, he said on January 6th, what did he say exactly? All hell's going to break loose. Hey, there's a Kiss song I could play too. All hell's breaking loose. And it's going to be fast moving, and it's not going to be what you expect. So he gave some hints. Those are pretty strong hints. So he knew something. I don't know if he was directly coordinating with anybody. I don't know if he was just making a prediction and got lucky or unlucky, depending on how you look at it, that it turned out that there was something major that happened on that day. But I think he knew something. He sure sounds like a guy who knows something, who did know something. Otherwise, again,
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
What would he have to hide by going and testifying? If he doesn't know anything, why not go and testify and say, I don't know anything. I didn't know anything. I was guessing. I was speculating. I was being hyperbolic. I don't know. I got a podcast. I'm trying to make some waves with it here, trying to get subscribers. So I'm saying provocative things. I don't know. I didn't mean anything really. You can go and testify and say all that. Just like with Trump, all these documents that they're trying to hide, those are documents of public record. I, as a taxpayer, want to know what's in those documents. Don't you? Our friend Eric Pilcher, he's a Trump supporter, but he called yesterday. He said he wants to know what's in those documents. He doesn't think it's right that they be hidden from us. And again, just like with Bannon, I say to you this. If there's no collusion in terms of January 6th to be found in those documents, no malfeasance of any kind, nothing that pertains to the insurrection, then what's the problem? You should want us to see those documents to prove that Trump had nothing to do with what happened that day. I mean, he did put out that video 2.5 hours in to everything that was happening, telling the rioters how much he loves them and understands how they feel. And, it was a nice bonding moment, wasn't it? Oh, and by the way, please go home now. You got to go home now. But I want to hear from Steve Bannon. So this is from CNN. This is what Jenny sent me. So a federal grand jury has returned an indictment against, can I just say one other thing about Bannon too? I just want to remind anybody, if there's any Trump supporters who are listening to this, I know I've driven most of them away over the years, but if you are a Trump supporter and you also, for whatever reason, are still a fan of Steve Bannon, can I just remind you of something or tell you something that you might not be aware of? Steve Bannon stole money from Trump supporters. Does this sound familiar? If it doesn't, I'll tell you the story. Steve Bannon set up this thing. I forget who else was involved. There were other notable people involved to raise money to, I forget what they called it. They build a wall foundation or something. Steve Bannon was part of this thing to raise money to build a wall, because I guess the original plan kind of fell through. You remember the original plan, right? Gonna build a wall and make Mexico pay for it. It's funny, when you don't expect to actually win, you can say all the crazy stuff you want because you don't think you're going to be held accountable because you're not going to actually win. Because if you're a longtime listener, I don't believe Donald Trump ever expected to actually win. That's why you can go around making crazy promises because you don't believe you're going to be held to account for not fulfilling them. But yeah, so that didn't work out. So I guess as a way of saving face for Trump or something, they came up with this scheme, and I use that word very deliberately. Get people to donate, get the MAGA cult to donate money, and we will use that money to build a wall. So we don't need the government. We don't need your taxpayer money. Just donate to this thing, whatever they called it. I wish I could remember the name. And we will, maybe they called it fraud guarantee. Oh, I'm sorry. No, that name was already taken by that Lev Parnas guy or Ego Frugman or one of those freaks that hang out with Giuliani. It's hard to keep it all straight. I love that the name of that company was Fraud Guarantee, though. That's talk about truth in advertising. How ironic. So the deal was you donate money to this thing. Well, it turns out Bannon was embezzling the money. That's what he got arrested for before. Remember when he got arrested before? Because he was taking the money and using it for his own stuff. They weren't building a wall. So if you are a Trump supporter and you are also a supporter of Steve Bannon, just so you know, you're supporting someone who either stole or attempted to steal directly from you. I know Trump, you might forgive him for anything he ever did, but even Steve Bannon, come on. Did you know, by the way, even Ben Shapiro, who ideologically probably agrees with Steve Bannon on absolutely everything, even Ben Shapiro thinks that Steve Bannon is a terrible human being. I believe those were his exact words because they used to work together at Breitbart. And Ben Shapiro, in multiple interviews over the years, has said that he believes that Steve Bannon is a terrible person. So it says here, a federal grand jury has returned an indictment against former Trump advisor Steve Bannon for contempt of Congress, the Justice Department announced Friday. Attorney General Merrick Garland has been under tremendous political pressure to indict Bannon since the House referred the Trump ally to the Justice Department for contempt on October 21. Garland said in a statement Friday, quote, "Since my first day in office, I have promised Justice Department employees that together we would show the American people by word and deed that the Justice Department adheres to the rule of law, follows the facts and the law, and pursues equal justice under the law. Today's charges reflect the department's steadfast commitment to these principles," unquote. Bannon, 67, was charged with one count related to his refusal to appear for a deposition and another related to his refusal to produce documents. Each count carries a minimum of 30 days and a maximum of 1 year in jail, the Justice Department said. Without an indictment, critics have said there's doubt over how much power the House January 6th committee has to compel cooperation from former White House and Trump administration officials. And that goes to the point that John Hopwood was making when he called, about the limits of the House committee's ability to, they can subpoena you, but can they compel you to appear? Friday, former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows failed to appear for a deposition. Sources familiar with the investigation told CNN, "What do you have to hide, Mark?" Setting up a potential showdown that could lead to the panel beginning a criminal referral process against him. And last week, former Trump Justice Department official Jeffrey Clark, who had been subpoenaed, appeared before the committee for more than an hour but declined to answer questions. Yeah. you can get away with a lot just by maybe not remembering anything. I don't remember. I don't recall. That's a good way to avoid a perjury slap. I don't recall. The House January 6th committee subpoenaed documents and testimony from Bannon in early October. Bannon's lawyer, Robert Costello, told the committee the former Trump advisor would not be cooperating with the investigation because he had been directed not to by Trump. Again, that's that executive privilege. It's amazing how widely that spreads. That's another thing I didn't know before the Trump administration. I had dinner with Trump once. I claim executive privilege. I don't have to tell you anything. Yeah, I met him once at the mall. I don't know. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
I hear you're a bully. F you.
Oh my goodness. Who was that? Was that Yosemite Sam or something? Someone called me a bully. I have to tell you, that hurts me. That hurts me, being called a bully. I feel that the person calling me a bully was bullying me. Of course, they probably wouldn't have bullied me had I not bullied them. I didn't realize I had been bullying. I've been bullied by bullying bullies because of my bullying. I feel badly about it, and I'm over it now. Let's see. Bannon's lawyer, Robert Costello, told the committee the former Trump advisor would not be cooperating with the investigation because he had been directed not to by Trump, pointing to claims from Trump that the documents and testimony being sought was potentially protected by executive privilege. By the way, too, let me just remind you all. Oh, Jenny thinks it was Colonel Sanders. Let me just remind you all that Bannon was not anywhere near the White House. Or I mean, I don't know if he was physically near it, but it had been a long time since he had served in this administration when January 6th happened. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Matt, I'm sorry to interrupt you. That last call, was that a joke or was that somebody being serious?
You know what, Paul? Here's the thing. It may have been a joke, but it may not have been. And it may have been someone who just wanted me to know that they feel that I've bullied them. And if someone feels that way, I want them to know that I'm mildly, vaguely apologetic.
Yeah, but you're not, first of all, you don't have the chip within your brain to bully. You don't have it within you. You don't even know how to bully. Okay? Oh. It's not in the cards for you. If you are ever in a situation that is negative and you don't like it and it angers you, you turn away. You don't bully people. Or you explain to them exactly how you feel. And you do it in a manner that's realistic and mature. And it's not in any way, again, I've known you for a long time now. You don't even know how to bully people. Just like my ex-girlfriend didn't know how to love people, you don't know how to bully people. So,
well, thank you, Paul. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Can I borrow $50?
I feel I'm being bullied by you now.
No, I'm just kidding. I just wanted to borrow the $50 so I could rub it in your face one day and walk all over you and say, "Don't you remember I let you borrow $50?"
I get it. Well, what you should do is you should give me $50, and then you should hold that over my head the next time you want to, if you ever want to bully me. See?
Oh, all right, I'll pay next month's rent for you and Jenny. And then I get carte blanche on however I want to treat you. Okay?
I think that sounds equitable and fair.
All right. I'll pay your rent tonight when I get to the station.
Oh, that's fantastic. Wow. All right.
All right.
It sounds
you take
like
magic beans.
It does sound like a Faustian bargain, but you know.
Right.
I will take magic beans. After all, tonight is the drug show.
Yes, we'll be doing magic beans on the air tonight.
If you got some magic beans, bring them. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a good time. I just wrapped up the music portion of the show, so a little late this week, but I got it done, by God.
Good. Well, yeah. We'll have a good time. Always looking forward to it.
Yeah, we'll be having a good time tonight. Don't forget to tune in, gang, 7:30 to hear the continuation of Matt Connarton on Friday.
Yes.
See ya.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. That was our friend Paulie C. Retro Spectrum Radio with Paulie C starting tonight at 7:30. Yeah, Fridays are fun. Fridays are a long day for me here, but I love it. Absolutely love it. Especially when it's rainy and crappy outside. Sorry, I was just laughing at the chat room, but we have a call. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hey, Matt, it's Gary.
Hey, Gary. How you doing?
Hey, was that Dr. Phil that just called?
I believe that was Paulie C, but it could have been
Oh,
Dr.
he sounded like Dr. Phil. He said you were good and kind.
Well,
and
he could have been Dr. Phil doing a Paulie C
he
impression.
sounded like Dr. Phil.
You know what, Gary? Can I just realized something, and this had never occurred to me until you brought this up just now. I've never actually seen Paulie C and Dr. Phil in the same place at the same time. Have you?
Mm-hmm.
Have you?
Yeah, I haven't heard from Dr. Phil in a while.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They have similar hairlines. I don't know.
I'll have to go to QAnon and see what's going on.
Oh, yes, QAnon. Yes.
They must know.
Yes, I'm sure. We might have.
I just wanted to brighten up the Friday.
Uh-huh.
Let people laugh.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I went to my psychiatrist. She still says, I have to come see her because I'm still a little off the wall.
Nah,
But,
aren't we all?
Aren't we all?
Mm.
Aren't we all?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to say, hey, everybody, be careful on those roads. Get your canoes out, kayaks, and just be careful.
Yeah, I was surprised at the level of water that was accruing on the roads as fast as it was.
On our west side here, coming home, Front Street was all, rushing water, and I thought I saw a couple of dead raccoons coming down the road, and stuff like that. But yeah, no, just be careful, Paulie. Be careful because I want to make sure to hear the show. I got my pizza ready to go. So,
oh, there you go.
And I'm psyched.
Oh, very good.
Friday night.
Yes.
My music show.
There you go. Yeah, it's going to be a good time.
Hey, I got a song for you. It's a drug song. A long time ago when I was a kid, I can't remember the name of the group, but I guess the song was called Snowblind Friend.
Okay.
Paulie would know. He's fantastic with music. So.
Yeah, he'd know. Yeah, I'm not
But
familiar.
it was, one of the lines was he only had $1 to live until next Monday, so he bought a one-way ticket on an airline made of snow.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Yeah.
So it's up to doing that was a weird song. I was like about 14 or 15 when I heard it. So.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what group it was, so I know he always has this fantastic look in his computer, and he wears that Swami hat that he knows about the music. So.
Yeah, absolutely. His knowledge is all
right. Well, I'll
deep.
get off. I don't want to babble on. It's Friday night, so I'll wait for the music.
All right.
Love you, Paulie. And I love you, Maddie. You're my inspiration.
Well, thank you.
You're my friend.
Well, thank you, Gary. Same.
And you should do Woolly Bully, not Bully. Woolly Bully. Yeah, that's an old song. Sam the Sham and the Pharaoh.
I know that song. Yeah,
when
absolutely.
someone calls you a bully, say, no, I'm a Woolly Bully.
Yes.
All right, and send my love to Jenny. I know how she feels. My body is aching, too.
Absolutely. Yeah. No,
I love all you guys. I love you, too. You guys have a great weekend. Be safe out there.
All right.
And Paulie, I'll be listening. All right.
All right, Gary.
Bye-bye.
All right, we love you. Thank you. All right, that was our friend Gary from the West Side. Yes. Well, that does open up a line for you, 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. A lot going on in the Facebook live chat. John Hopwood is in there. He was saying, well, actually, we have a call. Fridays are pretty busy. Mondays and Fridays are very busy. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
What the heck are we listening to? This be some shitty-ass radio.
Oh, can't do that. Cannot say that. Wow. Boy, I'll tell you. I had to hit the dump button on that. We are on FM. Now that is bullying, my friends. Wow. John Hopwood says, the Hollywood 10's First Amendment defense was based in their assertion that the House Un-American Activities Committee had no right to hold hearings into a person's political beliefs and activities. Gonzo said something I can't read on the air to John Hopwood. John says the Hollywood 10 answered the subpoenas but refused to answer questions. They were jailed for contempt of Congress. If they asserted the fifth as justification not to testify, they would not have been jailed. Bannon likely will make a Hollywood 10 type of defense that the committee is a political inquisition, and this is unconstitutional. Let's see. Gonzo says, my guess is that the caller was making donuts, perhaps. Oh, what? You think it was Bill Duncan from Bill's Donuts? Rocky Huber says, Matt Connarton bullied me once. He had his headphones on in the studio, and I tried talking to him. I thought the show was automatic, and he could read my lips, LOL. That's a callback to earlier in the week, for those who don't know. Let's see. And Gonzo says, nothing brightens my day like a Gary call. Tom Blanchard says, now that you mentioned it, I haven't heard Gene Simmons from KISS. Yeah, that's true. We haven't heard from Gene. I have an article about him talking about anti-vaxxers that we might get to. Christian Lacoste is in the chat room. Hello, Christian. DJ Reckless. Eric Pilcher says, I saw the muted video Monday. Jenny, you were frightening, LOL. Yeah, Jenny's my bouncer. You know, when we got to kick a drunk chick out of the bar and she doesn't want to go. Jenny has to handle that. Jenny says, I have a special side with special skills you don't want me to employ. Let's see. We'll finish up on this before we, it's almost time for our break already. And at the top of the hour, by the way, if you're just joining us today, because it is Friday, it's Eric Pilcher's Friday Classic Film Review. And this week, the subject is Stanley Kubrick's A Clockwork Orange. Now, it says here, President Joe Biden's White House has declined to assert executive privilege regarding witnesses and documents related to January 6th, citing the extraordinary nature of the attack on the Capitol. The White House counsel's office has written to Bannon's attorney to tell him they won't support his refusals to testify. In seeking his cooperation, the committee has pointed to reports that Bannon spoke to Trump in the lead-up to the Capitol riot.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you want to get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
That he was present at the so-called war room of Trump allies at the Willard Hotel in Washington, D.C., as the attack was unfolding. That's right. Now, I actually forgot about that part. Bannon was there. Now, he was not, as I said, he was not working in the White House at that point. He was not at all part of the administration, not officially, but he was there, and they called it the war room, where basically they were trying to figure out how to subvert democracy while the attack was happening. The House committee said in its report, quote, in short, Mr. Bannon appears to have played a multifaceted role in the events of January 6th, and the American people are entitled to hear his firsthand testimony regarding his actions, unquote. Legal experts have also expressed skepticism about Bannon's decision not to comply with the subpoena, given that the question of whether Trump, as a former president, can assert privilege is unsettled, and that Bannon was not working for the government in the period being examined by the committee. And by the way, just to stop on that for a moment, because we've discussed this on the show, and we've discussed it with John Hopwood, who has a lot of insight into these matters, obviously. But typically a former president, according to precedent, can't just assert without the current president assert privilege, executive privilege, without the current president approving it, because executive privilege is the purview of the current sitting president. Now, the current president can, and President Biden could have authorized executive privilege for the former president, Donald Trump, in this matter, but he declined to do so. But again, as I was saying the other day on the show, this is untested waters here. We're in dark territory. We've never quite been here. And this may go to the Supreme Court. And of course, I think it was yesterday, actually, John and I were talking about, you don't necessarily know if this does go to the court, which it very well may, the Supreme Court, you don't necessarily know where that's going to go. You might think that a conservative leaning court is going to side with Trump, but not necessarily. As we found, for example, in the recent Texas abortion case, Amy Coney Barrett, Brett Kavanaugh, not necessarily going, at the very least, they're going to ask some hard questions, right? They're not just going to say, okay, we're going to agree with the conservative position on this. And Justice John Roberts, who has been, I think, largely nonpartisan throughout his tenure as the Chief Justice. Now, it does say here, any criminal case against Bannon could take years to unfold in court, and a successful prosecution is not a certainty. Historically, criminal contempt of Congress cases have been derailed by juries sympathetic to the defendants and by appeals rulings. Bannon's case is likely to raise novel legal questions about executive privilege because, again, novel questions because we're in dark territory here. And about the House's ability to enforce its investigative subpoenas when they seek information about the executive branch. And again, that goes to what John was saying about the House being able to subpoena. Of course, they can issue subpoenas, but can they compel? Unlike the Senate, which definitely can, I should say. The House has pinned its hopes on the prosecution of Bannon as well, with the committee trying to make Bannon an example of the possible consequences for uncooperative witnesses. Representative Jamie Raskin, a member of the Select Committee, said, quote, they have obviously got their process. They've got to run their traps on all of the guidelines for deciding on a criminal prosecution in a case like that, unquote. Oh, he also said, quote, we think it's an open and shut case. Adam Schiff said, this isn't an early test of whether our democracy is recovering. This is an early test, rather, of whether our democracy is recovering, unquote. So there you go. That's the latest there. Rocky says, Jenny, remember when you bounced that anti-masker out of the bistro, LOL. That's right. All right. On that note, yeah, it's almost the top of the hour. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to Eric Pilcher's classic film review. As I said, this week the subject is A Clockwork Orange. So we're going to listen to this. We always enjoy this. And then, I don't mean to be presumptuous and speak for all of us, but I assume we all enjoy this. I certainly do. And then we'll show some love to our sponsors, and then we'll come back for hour number 2. Plenty more Matt Connarton Unleashed coming up.
If it was me, that is Alex, and my 3 droogs, that is Pete, Georgie, and Dim. And we sat in the Corova Milk Bar trying to make up our Razoo dogs what to do with the evening. The Corova Milk Bar sold Milk Plus Velocet, or Synthamesque, or Drencrum, which is what we were drinking. This would sharpen you up and make you ready for a bit of the old ultra-violence.
With those haunting words, we are brought into the dystopic world of Stanley Kubrick's A Clockwork Orange. This film is based on the novel by Anthony Burgess and is one of the most controversial and divisive films in the history of cinema. In the film, we follow young adult sociopath Alex DeLarge, played by extraordinary actor Malcolm McDowell in arguably his greatest performance. Him and his 3 droogs, partners in crime or gangmates, spend their nights drinking milk laced with hallucinogens, fighting, committing acts of sexual and physical assault, and general other acts of anarchy. However, Alex's gang grows weary of his leadership and wants to rob a wealthy old woman. During this attack, Alex accidentally kills the woman with a phallic statue, and his cohorts turn on him and leave him for the police. Due to the murder, he is sentenced to prison. In order to get out early, he goes through a treatment where any thoughts of sex, violence, or wrongdoing will make him violently ill to the point of near paralysis. Then, he is released to a world that has nothing but vengeance on their minds on a man that cannot protect himself. Within the first 15 to 20 minutes of this film, we see Alex and his gang assault a homeless man, fight another gang, which prevents them from committing a sexual assault. But rest assured, Alex's gang did not do this as an act of heroism. They steal a car and drive to a home where they violently sexually assault a woman while Alex sings Singin' in the Rain and makes her companion watch and ransacks their home. During these actions, Kubrick uses frantic editing and jump cuts with shaky camera movement throughout to make the viewer a part of the chaos instead of just being a watcher. This is done, I feel, to desensitize us to everything we are going to see moving forward. In a 1971 interview, the year the film was released, Kubrick said, "Everyone is fascinated by violence. After all, man is the most remorseless killer who ever walked the earth." While the violence is hard to watch, what is more visceral is when Alex returns home and is met with those seeking vengeance. In this clip, he returns to his home to be told his parents rented out his room. And when insulted by the lodger, he goes to attack him, but cannot, demonstrating the flaws of the treatment.
Breaking the hearts of your poor grieving parents. So you're back, eh? You're back to make life a misery for your lovely parents once more, is that it? Well, over my dead corpse you will, because you see they've let me be more like a son to them than like a lodger.
Joe, don't go fighting here, boys.
Well, do put your hand over your mouth, please. It's bloody revolting. Are you all right, lad?
Shh, Dad. Treatment.
Well, it's disgusting. I mean, it's enough to put you off your food.
Oh, leave him be, Joe. It's treatment.
Did you think we ought to do something?
Well, would you like me to make you a nice cup of tea, son?
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather, now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
What have you done with all my own personal things?
Oh, well, that was all took away, son, by the police. New regulations, see, about compensation for the victims.
What about Basil? Where's my snake?
Well, he met with like an accident. He passed away.
What's going to happen to me then? I mean, that's my room is in. There's no denying that. This is my home also. What suggestions have you, my P&M, to make?
Well, all this needs thinking about, son. We can't very well just kick Joe out. Not just like that, can we? I mean, Joe's here doing a job. A contract it is, 2 years. And we made like an arrangement, didn't we, Joe? You see, son, Joe's paid next month's rent already, so, well, whatever we may do in the future, we can't just say to Joe to get out. Now, can we?
No, but it's much more than that, though. I mean, I've got you two to think of, who've been like a father and mother to me. Well, it wouldn't be fair now or right, I mean, for me to go off and leave you two to the tender mercies of this young monster who's been like no real son at all. Well, look, he's weeping now, but that's all his craft and artfulness. Let him go and find a room somewhere else. Let him learn the errors of his way. And that a bad boy like his being doesn't deserve such a good mum and dad as he's had.
All right. I know how things are now. I've suffered, and I've suffered, and I've suffered. And everybody wants me to go on suffering.
You've made others suffer. It's only right that you should suffer proper. You know, I've been told everything you've done sitting here at night round the family table, and pretty shocking it was to listen to. It made me real sick, a lot of it did. Now look what you've gone and done to your mother.
There is great debate in film circles as to what type of film genre this falls under. The common placement is film noir or neo-noir. I wholeheartedly disagree with this designation. With noir films, even detestable characters have redeeming qualities. In this film, no one is redeeming. Everyone has a vileness and self-serving nature to them that eventually Alex becomes the victim. Think about that. You actually sympathize with this detestable young man. Even after a tragic accident befalls him, we find he has learned nothing and has no remorse. In this clip, Alex is coddled by the Prime Minister who spearheaded his treatment and makes a plea to him, telling him everyone who wronged Alex, his former victims, keep in mind, are being punished. Wow, the Prime Minister hand feeds Alex.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I can tell you with all sincerity that I and the government of which I am a member are deeply sorry about this, my boy. Deeply sorry. We tried to help you. We followed recommendations which were made to us that turned out to be wrong. An inquiry will place the responsibility where it belongs. We want you to regard us as friends. We've put you right. You're getting the best of treatment. We never wished you harm. But there are some who did and do. And I think you know who those are. There are certain people who wanted to use you for political ends. They would have been glad to have you dead, for they thought they could then blame it all on the government. There is also a certain man, a writer of subversive literature, who has been howling for your blood. He's been mad with desire to stick a knife into you. But you're safe from him now. We put him away.
Stanley Kubrick said following the release of this film, to restrain man is not to redeem him. That should have been the tagline for this film. Alex, in being restrained, society creates a danger to him. When unrestrained, he is a danger to society. This film makes us ask ourselves, what one is worse? I have watched this film many, many times, and I still do not have an answer. What I do know is despite its scenes of violence, the moral ambiguity makes it most memorable. We truly find ourselves asking, does rehabilitation and punishment truly fit the crimes? Quite shocking when you consider the crimes and actions at play. In my opinion, this is Stanley Kubrick's masterpiece. This film stands the test of time, while asking centuries-old questions regarding crime, punishment, and rehabilitation. It should be viewed at least once in someone's lifetime. Even if you find you do not like it, you will remember it, and rightfully so. For Matt Connarton Unleashed, this is Classic Film Reviews with Eric Pilcher.
I'm singing in the rain, just singing in the rain. What a glorious feeling, I'm happy again.
Everybody, welcome. We are well into hour number 2, numero dos, of Matt Connarton Unleashed, and we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire, also on Comcast 97 if you're in Manchester, streaming at WMNHradio.org and on the Facebook on the Matt Connarton Unleashed Facebook page. And, of course, you can go to my website, mattconnerton.com, for all of your live streaming options, social media links, contact info, show archives, etc., etc. Hello to our friends at Raw Talk Online, Tomorrow Radio, and AOW Radio. Today is Friday, November 12th, 2021, and we have a call. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hey, Matt, just me. How you doing, bud?
Hey, it's Ron. How are you?
Super duper. Hey, I got just the cold chill and the rainy blues. I was going to come out today and show up with you guys and do it. I thought, hey, that'd be great, but it's not going to happen. But I'll tell you what, I'd still be more than happy to order you that pizza. You just go pick it up yourself.
Oh.
Or you got, Elmwood House of Pizza. I'll tell them to make it ready for whenever you want. 6:30, 6:45, whatever you want.
Really? Trying to think if I could even get over there. It might be, I don't know. Are the roads still flooded? I don't know.
Well, that I don't know.
Yeah.
The only thing is they don't do delivery unless you do like one of those apps where people pick up food for you.
Yeah.
They don't have their own delivery people.
Yeah. Geez, might be worth it, actually. That Elm House pizza was awfully good. Yeah, you know what? I could get over there. I could get
What's a good time for you? Because I'll call it in and tell them I would like it to be ready for, and then you give me the time.
No kidding. How about how about 6:15?
You got it, brother. I'll call it in, and that should. I'm sure that put time. Hey, listen. All right, consider that done. And last night I was listening to Serena, her late night show, and it's a great show, by the way, if you haven't heard it already. But they had a song on there. I asked about it today to see if Gary Wright had knew anything about it, and maybe your friend Dan will, or maybe Paulie will. But the song was about an arsonist, and he doesn't sing with lyrics with music and instruments. He kind of just.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Plays the song as he narrates it, and he's talking about he's got matches in his pocket, the smell of gasoline, and running in fear and watching it from a distance. Have you ever heard the song that I'm trying to describe?
I don't think so. It doesn't sound familiar to me. No. What's it's?
Wow, it's wicked crazy good. I tried to look it up on YouTube. I couldn't do it. Yeah. All right. Well, another day, another time. If this is the second time I heard it, but if I ever hear it again, I'll see if I can come up with an answer to what it was. Sometimes she tells what's going on, but
yeah.
All right, I'll leave you be, and how can I call them in a minute? I'll get you your pizza going for 6:15.
Wow, Ron, you're amazing. We love you. Thank you so much.
I really wanted to show up, but I'm just not feeling up to it. I mean, I was going to do it on my own anyway.
What kind of pizza are you getting for us?
I don't care, really. It's up to you. I was going to tell them extra cheese, extra sauce, and pepperoni.
Can you get the because we got one from there once. It was the Elm House, like it was the house pizza. Actually,
that's fine.
Yeah, but no honey. Apparently they put honey on it, which is weird. We got it without the honey, and it was perfect. It was just excellent.
Okay, consider it done.
Oh, right.
On the Elm House pizza, no honey. I'm actually looking at the menu right here, right now.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they put hot honey on it, but we were like, no honey, and it was.
House entries. All right, no matter what, I'll tell them, house pizza, no honey.
Okay, perfect.
6:15.
All right, Ron, thank you so much.
Sure, no problem, brother.
All right, my friend. All right, take care. Bye-bye. Wow. Well, that was our friend Ron. And yes, we love Ron. And my stomach loves Ron. My stomach absolutely adores Ron. And it is my stomach's world, and you all just live in it. It's good to remind you all of that occasionally. Ron remembers. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
I mean, who gives this guy airtime? I mean, he's ordering pizza on the air. I mean, what a derelict show host. I mean, such a derelict.
It's just, You know what? You know what he reminds me of? Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can. Goose Feathers. I think I found it.
Hi, this is DJ Goose Feathers. I really hate the morning show with Peter White. I hate it so much. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
Reminds me of that guy. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Matt, I found out you're a boy, and you've been hurting people. You're such a boy. I'm going to get back to watching your show, but you better stop bullying.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for bullying. I don't mean to bully people. I hate to be a bully. I hope no one thinks I bullied Ron into getting us the exact pizza that we wanted. I didn't mean. I felt a little weird. I was like, I don't want to make requests, but can I make a request? No, but seriously, like a few weeks ago, we got the Elm House pizza, and it was so good. John Hopwood in the chat says, maybe you should get them to sponsor you. It's Tim Baines' place. Yes. The great former alderman Tim Baines owns Elm House. He is the proprietor there, the owner and proprietor, as we say. That's why he's so excited.
My name is Tim Baines. Today I'm excited.
Yes, and I'm excited to have some of that pizza later. Ooh, boy. John Hopwood says, hearing a pizza order is not compelling radio. How dare you, sir? You know, maybe you don't think it's compelling radio, but my stomach loves it. Loves it. Hello to Chris Wheeler St. Cyr, however you say that. Says, sounds yum. Yes, yes. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
So, yeah, I'll take that pizza with pineapple and ham. Extra pineapple, okay? Extra pineapple.
Oh, God.
Make sure it has extra pineapple, okay?
No. Oh,
Make sure of it.
That's an abomination. We do not want, not only do we not want extra pineapple, we don't want any pineapple. We want no pineapple. We actually want negative pineapple on the pizza. Like, I want to have, I don't even want anyone to consider, like, I hope whoever makes the pizza, the word pineapple isn't even in their mind ever. Like, they never even, like, I hope whoever makes the pizza has a moral objection to putting pineapple on pizza and refuses to ever do so, even when it's ordered by one of the patrons there. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, you know, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
This guy's got a hate on pineapple. I mean, for real, he's got a hate on the pineapple.
Well,
what's wrong with this guy?
Well, I just don't like, I don't like things that are disgusting. Like if somebody asks me, Matt, what do you like on a pizza? You know what I always tell them? I like a lot of different things. Just nothing that's disgusting. If there's something disgusting on the pizza, I'm less likely to want to consume it. If there's delicious things on the pizza, I'm all about it. I'll eat, I might have a couple slices. I'll have more than a couple, let's be honest. John Hopwood says, this pizza conversation is minutes of my life I'll never get back. True, but what about my stomach? These are minutes my stomach is, this is very important to my stomach. It's my stomach's world. You all just live in it. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
It's Jenny.
Hi.
I have a beef.
Well, there could be beef on the pizza, yes.
No.
I'm fine with that. I just don't want
No,
pineapple.
I have a beef.
Okay.
People stink.
Oh, you're beefing.
I'm beefing. People stink.
Okay.
Well, of course, you know, we're in the news because here in New Hampshire, some jerky individual went over to where the Courier Museum is, and they were doing kiddo vaccinations and started driving madly around the friggin' parking lot, putting people at risk, being an absolute jerk because apparently that's what these anti-vaxxer types do. So this is children, mind you, children.
Yes.
On top of that, I look and I see, excuse me, and we were together. We'd gone past CMC Hospital, and these people are out protesting, and they were obvious Trump supporters because they were holding Trump flags. So I'm not pulling this out of anywhere. But one of them really caught my attention because they were holding a sign with a flag sign with the F word on it, like in full, big giant capital letters. And that's just disgusting. Like New Hampshire never used to think about things like that. When Westboro Baptist Church came here and they were holding signs like that with big, swear words or whatever on it, people came out in droves to protect children from seeing things like that. I know they protested outside of Concord High School, and, people went and were, protecting the children from seeing these kinds of things. And now we live in a society where, hey, Trump said, "All bets are off, I guess. You can do that in front of a hospital, in front of an emergency room where children may be receiving treatments. You can go to the Courier Museum and disrupt a vaccination site." Incidentally, dude was arrested. but I'm beefing over this because I'm just disgusted by it. You have your opinion, and that's great, and you have the right to protest, and I totally support that. But to be so blatantly Westboro Baptist gross in front of kiddos and have no consideration for that just makes you scum. You're pond scum. And some of these people claim to be so all that in a bag of chips for protecting children and educating their children. Really? This is how you educate your children? So, yeah, that's my beef today, Maddie. I am done with these people who are going so far now, and they think it's justified, and they'll stick their noses right up in your face when you look at them and say, that's not okay. That's not cool.
Well, it's like I said when we passed the protesters out in front of CMC, and one of them was holding up the big flag with the F word on it, the actual word spelled out, F Biden. I said, yeah, Trump made it cool for conservatives to be openly vulgar. So, because Daddy would love, and I mean, when I say Daddy, I mean Trump. He would love that. He would think it was great. So, you're going to see more of that. I mean, we're actively devolving as a society, I think, in that manner. And so he made it cool to do that kind of thing.
I'd love for somebody of that ilk to call in and explain themselves and justify why they think that's an appropriate way to protest in front of a museum where children are intentionally being gathered, across the street from a hospital where people are getting treatment and don't have a clue of a choice to be there. But, kiddos that are there, they don't want to be there. It's a hospital.
Now, John,
looking out their window, I don't want to look out my window after a treatment and see that. That's not okay. It's a hospital.
Now, John Hopwood in the chat is saying using the F word as a protest slogan had been constitutionally protected for 50 years. Yes, that is true, but that's not the point, John. It's just vulgar
That's not what I'm saying.
To be standing there out in the open with that on a sign, on a flag with children. It's it's just vulgar. I mean, whatever. It's
what I would hope. I would hope that we as Americans would not do that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm okay with you want to use the F word, that's fine. I use it all the time. But to spell it out on a sign, not with symbolism or anything, but actually spelling it out like that and waving it around and yelling at people, with kiddos around, that's not okay. Driving around a parking lot madly, disrupting a vaccination site because you don't want one, fine, you don't want one. Why are
well, that's
to drive around that parking lot and put people? These are the kind of behaviors that are happening, and they're going to happen more now that children are being vaccinated. These people have targeted others, and they want to cram their view down their throat and take away the rights of those parents that say, yes, I do want to vaccinate my child. I don't want to risk them getting COVID.
Yeah, it's really disturbing.
They speak out of one side of their mouth about parental rights and being able to control your children's health. But then when there are people that are doing exactly that,
right,
they'll disrupt it. They'll be vulgar and bring vulgarity into the situation, be dangerous, do acts that are dangerous in the situation. And that's just, God, it's sickening because this isn't who we used to be.
Yeah, I don't know if it's not who we used to be, but it's not who we used to be to this degree. I mean, there's always been. When I was a Republican and I was a Ron Paul supporter and went to sign waves, I never held up signs like that, anywhere like that. When I went out and supported various candidates or went door to door for myself, I never used that kind of language or vulgarity in my literature, my material, and my signage. That's not okay. Right.
In my book, that's not good political action in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
And if you're going to sit there and claim on your bully pulpit it's for the children, anybody using that term, it's for the children, I don't care who you are, you certainly shouldn't be getting in the way of a parent's right to take care of their child's health the way that they shall choose.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Well, like I said,
they'll only use that line when it fits them, honey. That's the thing.
Like I said, Trump made it cool to be that way. I mean, remember at his rallies when he was first running for president, and if I remember at one rally something happened and Trump is like, hey, if you hit that guy, I'll pay your legal bills or something. He encouraged that kind of thing. He has actively,
disgusting.
he has actively encouraged the devolution of our society. And, I guess that's the brand.
I guess it is, but I was beefing and I thought it's Friday. I'm going to beef.
Yes.
I'm beefing. I challenge you people. You can be anti-vaxxers, but do that, for yourself. Don't, and hold your people accountable. Don't allow people to make that what's representing you, because it's pretty gross.
Well, they don't care.
Eh? I try.
They don't care. They don't care how gross it is. They revel in their grossness. They couldn't care less.
And it's I mean, I can remember being at different events like the bacon and eggs breakfast or whatever, and having people be disgusted by Westboro Baptist Church and the terrible signs that they were holding up, and that shouldn't happen. We don't allow that. And I remember when they came to Concord High School, and the concerns that were there, and the kiddos in school looking out and seeing this vulgarity and nastiness, and wishing people dead and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And how gross the Republicans said they were. They were so grossed out by that. It was so wrong.
Mm-hmm.
People were coming out in motorcycle groups to block views and things like that. And now it's those same people holding a sign that's got the F-bomb Biden. I don't care. You know what? I'm ticky with Biden right now, too.
Mm-hmm.
But even when I was ticky with Trump, I wouldn't agree with it then. I don't agree with it now.
Right.
Spelling that out like that, geez, talk about bottom of the barrel politics, man.
Oh, yeah.
Go back to Reagan and the 13th Amendment, back to those days, I think. At least you had more empathy and heart back then. Now they're just cold-blooded, I swear.
Yeah, I know.
If a child had gotten hurt in that parking lot, what could have happened? Driving around like a maniac because you don't want people getting vaccinated. Parents bringing their children for medical care and you're getting in the way.
Yeah.
And you claim yourself to be a Republican? Doubt it. Mm-mm.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Yeah, no,
I don't like it.
It's disgusting.
It is. They're not who they used to be. It's an embarrassment. I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted that the parking incident occurred here in New Hampshire.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope to see better. I expect better out of New Hampshireites. I really do.
Well, we should.
I am, however, looking forward to the rest of this evening and having some good vibes and good feelings on retro. I need a booster in this gloom and gloom.
We should clarify, though, we don't want to paint with too broad a brush. Obviously, not all Republicans are like that, and we know Republicans who are not like that. And so we don't want to paint them all with that brush. But there is a large portion of the Republican Party, I think, that they're so in love with Trump that, like I said, he made it cool to be vulgar and disruptive, and
I got to disagree. Nope, I got to disagree with you on this one because I hold the party responsible for its membership and its ability to control to speak up. If they are against it, then they should be speaking against that type of activity themselves.
I agree.
And they're not.
I agree with
that. So they're guilty in that regard.
Well, I think that's part of tribalism, which unfortunately you see that in everything. You see elements of that in both parties, and you see it among libertarians, and you see it among religions, and you see it in organized religion. Even when people are, maybe they don't like what other people in their group or organization or whatever it is are doing, there's a reluctance to speak out because no one ever wants to be the uncool kid. If you're used to hanging out with the cool kids, you don't want to speak up and suddenly you're the uncool kid. Just like, if you're a conservative, you don't necessarily want to speak up on Facebook, for example, and say, hey, I kind of disagree with you all on this. I did get vaccinated, because now you're the uncool one among all your anti-vaxxer friends or whatever it is. It's kind of human nature, unfortunately. It's not just that. I would love it if more pro-science, pro-vax Republicans would speak up and say, hey, we've got some lunatics here, and I don't agree with them. And largely they won't do it because they don't want to be ostracized by those same lunatics with whom they share a party affiliation. It's some of that's just life, and it's unfortunate. People should speak up and say, I don't agree with this. I don't agree with that. Yes, I'm part of this party, but that doesn't mean I agree with everything about it. And I don't agree with some of the fringe.
No. I think you give them an easy cop-out when you say that.
I'm not giving them a cop-out. No.
Yeah, it is. It's a cop-out when you say that.
No.
We as the American citizens, the voting public, we are the ones who are supposed to be holding these parties accountable. And we don't.
I
Instead,
agree.
we kowtail to the stars of the party and go, ooh, I want to be in the in-crew with them. Instead of holding their feet to the fire and accountability.
That's literally what I said, though. I said, yeah, that's what happens.
I understand that's what you said,
Right.
but I think it's a cop-out to say it's just human nature. We have to accept it.
I didn't say we have to accept it.
I don't accept it.
I don't accept it
and
either.
It's not my nature.
I don't accept it either. I spend 2 hours a day here not accepting it. I'm just saying, just because I'm telling you what I think the origins of this problem are, that's not the same as saying I agree with it or I think it's okay. I don't think it's okay. I hate it. And that's one of the many reasons why I'm an independent. I don't want to be a part of a party because I don't like the groupthink, and I don't want to have to go, and I don't want to have to go along to get along. When I see something going on I don't like, I don't want to have to keep my mouth shut, because if I say something, then everyone else in the party is going to say, oh, you're not really one of us. I don't want to deal with any of that nonsense. So I'm not excusing
the American way, don't you know?
I'm not excusing any of it. I don't like it, and there is no excuse for it. I'm just saying I think this is what the origins of it are. No one wants to be, if you get to spend every lunch period at the cool table with the cool kids, you don't want to speak up and say something out of line, and all of a sudden now you're hanging out with the math team or whatever. You know what I mean? That's all.
I hear what you're saying.
I'm not excusing it.
I just wish, I guess, I wish maybe if we talk about it enough, maybe if we stomp our feet loud enough, we can get voters to hold themselves accountable. It's not just about how you vote in the voting booth. It's how you hold your elected officials accountable. When the parties do this crap and the people support it, they feed into that notion. If we would simply stand up and say, no, enough of this, I want you to be real Republicans. Where's your fiscal conservativeness? Where's your rights of parents to be able to control their children's care? I mean, it's just, they only use these words when it suits them. And when it doesn't, suddenly it's government belongs in your exam room. And I'm just done with the parties. And I've come to, I really am sadly concluding that the American political system is just going vastly down a fast freight train to, God, I don't know what. We're not what we were. We can't be trusted. Other countries can't trust that we're going to keep up with what we say because we've proven to not be trustworthy.
Right.
And Biden came in all big and bad. I'm going to make things better. And within short order, he decides, like every other time, and a party has a large majority, that they're going to try and get every Christmas tree hung on every bill that they ever wanted, instead of keeping the nose to the grindstone on the important thing. We need infrastructure reform, because we have bridges that you can't take a fire truck or an ambulance across to put out a fire or prevent an entire neighborhood from burning down. But we didn't need it to be mixed up with other things that had nothing to do with that. They should have passed what should have been passed on infrastructure, not be hanging little trees all over it, little programs, little things they want. And that was the tie-up, and that was the reason it took so long to get it through.
Yeah.
And it still came out with little Christmas tree ornaments on it should have never had. And how long is it going to take for our relatives' bridges here in New Hampshire that right now I tell you exist, that you absolutely cannot take a piece of emergency equipment across because it can't hold the weight?
Right.
Fire truck does you no good if it's broken through and it can't get there. And it's blocking the only way the tanker bringing the water in can get there. Because here in New Hampshire, not everybody's got giant access to, to fire hydrants. There's a lot of areas here that the water gets trucked in. They can't get the water to your house. They can't pump it. They can't put it through a hose. They can't put out your fire. You know, but this is what happens. I saw it happen here in New Hampshire with the Republicans when a supermajority. I'm watching it happen now with Biden's administration, and I'm so disappointed and disgusted with his behaviors because that's why everything's costing us a fortune, and our country's not going in the right direction. Oh, I'm beefing a lot today, Maddie.
I guess so.
All
right.
I feel better now. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. All right.
Have fun.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. That was Jenny. That opens up a line for you, 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. John Hopwood pointed out in the chat, kids can access the worst pornography and obscene language on their smartphones. Yeah, that's true. There really is no barrier to that. Rob Arnott said most of them are trash and will support the other ones even if they're not like them. Yeah, I hate partisan ideology in general. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
I still want my pineapple pizza.
Well, you can
and my cheese and extra pepperoni. You got some issues, man. We need pineapple on the pizza. Lots of pineapple. Freaking out for pineapple.
Oh no. Oh, by the way, just to clarify, not only do I not want pineapple on my pizza, I don't want pineapple, period. I cannot think of a single pineapple flavored thing that I could enjoy. Look, I don't want to bring theology into it, but I'm going to go ahead. I believe that pineapple, I'm going to say it, this is controversial. I believe that pineapple is the food of Satan. I went there. I believe that Satan right now is eating pineapple. And not on a pizza either. He's just eating straight pineapple out of a can, and it's disgusting. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hi, is this Howie Carr in Greater Boston? Howie, I love you. My son's a little too much to the left for me, Howie. You know what I'm saying? No, Maddie. I'll be very brief. Since I heard what you were just saying, I'm just getting out of work and stuff, but
yes,
I do like pineapple on almost anything, man.
Do you really?
Isn't that funny? I do. And on pizza, I don't eat pizza anymore because, Agent Orange complications. So my cardiologist says no.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Wow.
So, but you're much younger than I am for some reason. I can't figure that out. It's an enigma to me, but you know what I mean. But I just want to be brief. Thank you for the show yesterday. That was a great show, and thank you for the shout outs.
Oh, of course.
And of course to John. I've never met John Hopwood, but to him also.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
And great discussions yesterday. I love Eric. Is it Eric Pilter? I may be pronouncing it wrong.
Eric Pilcher, yes. From Iowa, yes.
From Iowa, yeah. That was a great discussion because you guys demonstrated that you could have a dialogue, listen to each other, disagree at some points, agree at other points.
Oh, I love, yeah.
That's what we
Yeah,
go ahead.
I love talking to Eric, and yeah, absolutely. He's very easy to talk to, even though we, obviously we see some things different politically, but yeah, I really enjoy talking with him.
Yes, and it's good for radio. It's good for the like John made that point the other day with some trouble. I didn't realize on Monday what was going on, of course, but it's a public interest, and you're reaching out to the public, whether we agree with everything. Of course, we're not going to agree with everything any radio host says. I do miss Eric, but you think he might come back?
Oh, Easy G Eric Gagnon? He is retired. Yeah. He is retired apparently, but I do think he'll be back. I think eventually the dam will break and he will not be able to help himself, and will be back. I do believe so.
Yeah, well, that would be good. He adds a lot in a very unique way.
Yes.
So that would be good when he comes back. So again, thank you for your honoring veterans yesterday. I got calls from both Ryan and Lindsay, and Lindsay sends her regards. She's this is the date, Matt, 2/22/22. There's something about that date, So the pregnancy's going well, and we pray for her and the families.
Yeah.
All of that, because there's always an intrinsic, as risk with that too.
Oh, of course.
So
yeah,
we trust everything will be all right. So I wanted to finally just a shout out to Warrant Officer Roy Hughes. He probably is not listening to the program. He's from Missouri, and I don't know if Roy would even still be with us. He might be in heaven through the grace of God. But a funny thing, so Roy and I went through a lot. He was one of my heroes, and we got back to the States, and I was in good shape in those days. I mean, I was physically fit, and so I volunteered just to do some stuff with this rigging on the USS America, where we would rig these 80-foot nets and then have people go in and scrape them down, then spray paint them and all that. It was a flagship then. It's now retired. It was a flagship. So anyway, some of the guys. So we would have different teams. I think we had 6 teams. My team I thought was the best. We had one guy give me a hard time a little bit, but I'll get through it. And so they would call me Marty. Now I never thought it would get out, but it got out. And this another petty officer who was ahead of me, he'd been in, for 100 years, reports this to Roy, who was overlooking everything. And so Roy calls me on the quarterdeck this morning, that particular morning. Long story short, because I think your listeners get a kick out of this. This happened a long time ago, but it happened today. So he said, listen, Connarton, and this is in front of another officer on the deck. He says, I know you're going to a Catholic college when you get out, and you're thinking about the priesthood. But if you let those guys call you Marty anymore, and he starts to modulate up, raise his voice.
Yeah.
This is the Navy. You got to understand it. It's military stuff.
Yeah.
He said, and he was in my corner. I could tell you another story, but I won't on the air. Not that it's bad, but it's too long. So anyway, so this morning, so he said to me, if you keep this up, Connarton, I almost said Marty. It's kind of funny. Connarton, I will bust you down before you get out. Now, I had probably 3 months left, my 4-year duty, and I was going to be discharged.
Yeah.
And I said, yes, sir. Yes, sir. But I said this, Matt. I said, Officer Hughes, I do not want to be pretentious or overbearing, but I think my crew has the best morale there. I will change it. I will change my approach, but they're the best. And he said, all right, get out of here. But here's the funny thing, Matt.
Yeah.
That was a line. I had that in my mind quarter. I had just seen the musical movie Camelot, which I recommend to everybody, by the way. That is a great movie. It's dated now. It came out in 66, I think, or 67. But it's a great movie and great musical. Now, you may not like it. The younger generation may not like musicals. I don't know, but I don't want to overgeneralize. But I just quoted that right from the movie to Roy, to get a little distance in there appropriately. And so then out comes Pete Seltzer from, I shouldn't say the name, I guess, but Pete from Chicago, Illinois.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you want to get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
And he comes over to me and he starts to holler about some things he wanted me to clarify because he was under me. And I had instructions for him. And what does he say right in front of Roy across? This was on the hangar deck. Marty!
Yeah.
I said, Pete, shut up and get in there.
Yeah.
But I swear, Roy had a little smile on his face, so we got out of there. So a shout out to Roy Hughes. to John Hubwood and all the veterans who have given so much, Maddie. We've lost a lot of them, unfortunately.
Yeah, absolutely.
But thank you. Great show yesterday. I'm always praying for you.
Thank you.
I don't always agree with you, Matt.
I know. Oh, I know.
But sometime when we talk, maybe privately, I will. Trump is worthy of critique, as every politician should be and is, really.
Yeah.
And I will tell you something about the COVID-19, the way he handled it. It's different from your approach yesterday. But and you may not agree with my assessment, but I will share something with you that I was really still am upset about some of his leadership or lack of leadership at times.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what bugs me too, though, mentioning Fauci, that he's still in that position. He still says, this is for your audience, and I'll shut up. 2 facts right now. There are many facts I could say, but Fauci. See what you just think of this. I'm not going to ask you a comment on it, but think about it.
Yeah.
Fauci continues to say, Matt, this is on the record, he continues to say, one, we should continue. He says continue. He uses that verb. I wouldn't even use that verb. He says we should continue to trust the Red Chinese, number one, on record. Number two, he says we should continue to fund the Wuhan lab, because the contract officially doesn't end until up for renewal until 2025, Matt.
Okay.
We should continue to honor that through 2025. I find that incredible. I'll stop on that note. Matt, great show.
Thank you.
I
Thank
love
you.
what you're doing. I'm very, as your dad, I'm very proud of you.
Oh, I appreciate that very much. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Matt. I'll let you go. Peace and love to everybody. Take care.
All right. Love you. Take care.
Love you too. Bye-bye now.
Right, bye-bye. All right, very nice. That was my father, Martin Connarton, and yes, he obviously he is a veteran, and I'm glad he was able to catch yesterday's show, our Veterans Day show, and we have another call. Wow, very busy Friday. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
You see, I believe Jesus be eating the pineapple on his pizza. So don't you be throwing the devil up in that. No. Jesus be eating that pineapple up on his pizza.
I don't know. Well, you know, my father, of course, good Catholic man, he likes the pineapple. So maybe I'm wrong. But I'll tell you, there's it's not the most disgusting food, pineapple, in my opinion, but it would probably be in my top 5. You know what the most disgusting food is? And of course, people will disagree with me because most people this is a food most people seem to like, but I personally find deeply just disturbing is corned beef. I think corned beef is absolutely, and that's definitely the devil's food. I mean, it is so disgusting. It's the texture. It's like it's all stringy. It's like meat that's already been chewed. I don't know how people eat that. No offense to anyone who enjoys corned beef. And like I said, most people do. So that's probably most of you listening. But just be aware that my personal opinion is if you enjoy that, you're some kind of weird freak. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hi, it's John Hopwood, the movie critic.
John Hopwood, how are you? I don't know if you heard, but my dad gave you a shout out.
Yes, I did. Hey, I just want to make this brief because Jenny was talking about an issue about the limits. I would call it the limits of free speech.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, like, you know, the Warren Court held that high school kids could have the draft, the F word fully spelled out, on a T-shirt. That was constitutionally protected speech. Now...
Well, wait. Stop,
and you and Jenny,
John, hang on. Let me just ask you for clarification on something. So I didn't know about that, by the way. So was it an issue where the school tried to ban that and the court said no, the school cannot ban that because that's protected speech?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
And that was pretty controversial. I think it was 70 or 71.
Yeah.
But so we're talking about that, and you know. It is, you know, you see F this or that. It's constitutionally protected.
But no one said it wasn't.
You know, it's vulgar, and like Jenny said, maybe the party or peer pressure might do something about that. But I want to go to a Clockwork Orange now.
Yeah.
Kubrick in the movie, Alex is Mephistopheles. He's actually the devil, and Kubrick makes that plain because when it's two droogs, droog means friend in Russian. The slang that they use is based on Russian. And like if you watch the movie and he's listening to Beethoven after the night of ultraviolence, and he says, "As I sluchied," you think, oh, he's masturbating. Sluchi means listen in Russian.
Okay.
But getting back to that, Dim and Georgie are the two droogs, and one of the commentary, what would you call it? This is a black comedy. It's a black comedy, just like one of his other great classics, Dr. Strangelove. But two of his friends become policemen, and they pick him up. And London police have a number on their uniform. And Dim, his number is 665, and Georgie's number is 667. And they put Alex between them, which in New York City they call that bracing you, and take him and give him, take him off to a place and give him a beating. So what is Alex? He's 666.
Right.
But this is what Kubrick said. It's in the novel, though. It's faithful to the novel. He says, I object to a movie like the Oxbow Incident, which is an anti-lynching movie, because in the movie they lynch people, but they lynch the wrong people. They lynch innocent people. And he said, that is I'd like to use a half-baked idea. If you're against lynching, be against lynching everybody, not just because innocent people will be lynched. So he wanted Alex to be the epitome of evil, which he is. And he deliberately makes him the most attractive person in the movie. Everybody else is a jerk, a jackass, a buffoon, and a caricature. Because the whole it was written by Anthony Burgess, who's a lapsed Catholic, very conservative, and it's about free will, which, as a Catholic, you must remember when you were young, all those discussions about free will. And as part of the catechism, whatever. I'm a Protestant. I only got it secondhand. And it's between like the conditioning of B.F. Skinner, Skinnerian conditioning, where you take a criminal and condition them so that they will not commit crime. And the only person in the whole movie that has an actual moral point of view is the parson, the prison Charlie, as they say. And he's a buffoon too. But he complains about the conditioning because he says, when you take away a man's choice, he ceases to be a man. And that's what the title of Clockwork Orange is, because it means mechanical man.
Oh, okay.
And so what Kubrick wanted to do is make Alex so disgusting that Jenny is just horrified. You were horrified when you first saw the movie.
Yeah.
Because then he wants you not to blink. If you believe that this absolute epitome of evil, this Mephistopheles, shouldn't be debased this way, it's an absolute position. It's also one of a great artist, because we often, like when we talk about the death penalty, people will often say, well, innocent people will get put to death.
Right. That's what I say.
But so I'm just saying, and I'm going to hang up because I know you are short on time.
Yeah.
So free speech is similar too, because free speech is often cracked down when it is extreme.
Right.
But it's just issues we have to talk to, and great of you and Jenny to talk about these things.
Thank you.
Now, have a good week. Have a good show tonight with Paulie C, and have a good weekend. Talk to you later.
All right, John. Thank you for the call. Take care. All right, that was our friend John Hopwood, and we are almost out of time. That'll probably be the last call. Miriam in the chat room says Hoppy gets it. Yep. But again, just to be clear, and Jenny reminds us of this too, we weren't saying, that, the vulgarity, like, for example, on that flag with the F word on it in front of the kids. Nobody's suggesting, at least we certainly weren't, that should be limited by law in any way. That's constitutionally protected. We were just saying we don't like it, and they shouldn't do that. That's all. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Wow, this guy's got some issues. He's been dissing the corned beef. That is sacrilege. You're sacrilegious, my friend. That's sacrilege.
Corned beef is truly evil. That is some evil, evil food. Corned beef and I don't like cabbage either, because they go together. Because I saw Michael Albert in the chat says Matt is definitely not Irish. I know I am Irish, but I'm like the anti-Irish. I'm like, yeah, I can't even stand the smell. Like if somebody's cooking corned beef and cabbage, just the smell of it is like, so awful. But I'll tell you what, though, that delicious pizza from Elm House of Pizza, I am very excited. I'm so appreciative of Ron. And Tim Baines, the proprietor, is excited, too.
My name is Tim Baines. Today I'm excited.
Yeah, see? All right, last call. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
And now you got issues with the cabbage?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I do not like the cabbage.
This guy, no. He's gone lost his ticker. Everybody, this guy is a terrible dude.
I've been called worse, trust me. Oh, my goodness. Well, I'm so sorry to be a terrible dude, but I'm a hungry dude. I'm looking forward to that pizza. Thank you, Ron, again. And, all right, we do have to go. Speaking of food, by the way, don't forget our amazing sponsor, the Hop Knot, right across the street. Delicious gourmet pretzels and craft beer and wine, and it's a great place. Make sure you continue to, what's the word? I don't know, get food from, I was looking for something more eloquent, but all these food conversations have my stomach all in a tizzy. So, but yes, we do love the Hop Knot, and of course we love Elm House, and I will be going down there shortly to get our wonderful pizza. And then, of course, immediately after this show here at WMNH, you can hear a pre-recorded Retro Spectrum Radio with our great friend Rob Azevedo. But then tonight, we are back live for Retro Spectrum Radio with Paulie C. Patronized. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you, Paul. Paulie C. with the assist. I appreciate it, my friend. So, you know what? I had the word in my brain, but my stomach couldn't think of it. My stomach is actually the one talking to you right now. It only looks like it's my face. But we do have to go. If you miss any part of this show, you can get it in just a little bit at WMNHradio.org in the podcast page, of course, or on my website, mattconnerton.com. And that's going to do it. Thank you, everybody. Been a great week. It sure started out interesting. If you didn't get a chance to tune in yesterday, I hope you had a great Veterans Day. And all right, that's going to do it for us for now. I'll talk to y'all a little bit later. And by a little bit, I mean about 90 minutes from now. Bye, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you want to get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.